Good afternoon YouTube, Ian here from Coolice Charge Case and Power Supplies. Right, so I've been diversifying a little bit and showing some other little bits I've been getting for like the gel blast and stuff like that. Now this is a bit different. This is actually more in line with the charge cases. I was looking on AliExpress last week I think and saw this charger pop up. Now this is a Toolkit M8D I think. Now this is the only other packet that's got delivered that I haven't opened yet, so I'm confident this is the charger. And when I looked at the specs of it, it was saying I think it can take between 11 and 49 volts off the top of my head, and between dual channels. So straight away I thought, okay, that could be an alternative to the iCharger Duos, for example. So that's what I've done. I thought, right, okay, let's give it a go. It was on a special price with AliExpress at the time, so I thought, okay, it's worth a shot. And also from my perspective, being a charge case designer and builder, I need to obviously branch out and start looking at other chargers as well. So I've done Revo Electrics, iCharger. I'm obviously doing the ISDTs, quite popular and quite rightly so because they are a very good price. ToolkitRC is obviously gaining a little bit of momentum as well and appears to have some nice lineup of chargers at the moment. And this one obviously looks even better because it's got the coloured screen, it's also a touch screen from memory as well, and obviously a dual channel. We've combined with obviously the higher voltage input, from my perspective, makes it more appealing. Say the Swarm Drone guys come back to me and say we want to look at another one or another company, for example, and we'd like a dual channel. This one could be, if the reliability is good, this one could actually be the way to go. So took a punt, brought it with my own money, so let's see what it looks like. So it's the first time I will have actually seen it. I'm probably going to need my little magnifier specs so I can read the specs. Yes, that is the model M8D, I did remember that correctly. So input DC 1700 watts, 10 to 49 volts, maximum 60 amps. Obviously that's, I'm guessing, obviously what the upper limit of the charger is, which is the same as the iCharger Duos from memory. So then of course battery's got lithium, high voltage, lithium FE, lithium ion, not sure what LTO is, but anyway we'll go from there. 1 to 8S twice because obviously it's dual channel, nickel metal hydride 1 to 20S, and PB 1 to 15S. So yeah, I'm guessing PB, that 15S must be the 24 volt lead acid. And then charge 0.1 to 30 amps, maximum 800 watts by 2, discharge blah blah blah. I'm not going to go through reading that. There's obviously other guys that have reviewed this and obviously gone through the full specs and stuff. The main thing for me obviously of course is the dual channel, which we've covered. The LCD IPS 3.5 inch 480 by 320 pixels, and touchscreen capacitive. So yeah, it's going to be quite good. And then obviously you've got the USB output as well, which is looks to be here, yeah, PD, QC. Yep, so it's obviously a max 65 watt charge port. So let's bring it out. As we've got touchscreen, supercar dual, whatever that means, 600 watt max power, 3.5 inch IPS. Yep, let's not worry about the specs. Let's just get the thing out and have a good look. Right, so what we got? What did we get given? Oh yeah, follow us on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube. I'm already following them on Facebook actually. I finally thought I'd better go in and follow them, so I did. Okay, so they give you obviously the lead to connect it, which is great, and obviously a USB lead. Now that'll be interesting whether that one is both a power and a signal, or signal only, to avoid any ground loop issues. So let's grab the charger out. Oh, we've got a manual, and oh, my favourite thing to apply to anything I get, a screensaver. Love it when they go well, but always end up buying a couple of spares for my mobile phones because I'm a perfectionist. I don't like it if there's any air bubbles or any dust under it, so I normally end up wrecking one or two until I get it perfect. But anyway, we'll put that on later. Let's put the box aside for a minute. So here we go with the charger. I'm going to keep checking. Yep, I'll stand up and check because I did have a GoPro at one point, but I never used it, so I've sold it, and now I'm using my mobile phone suspended above my head. So, woo! Actually, you know what? When I was looking at the specs, I thought to myself, it looks a small charger, and indeed that is. I mean, okay, I've got relatively large hands, but that fits in the palm of my hand quite nicely. It's got a weight to it. I don't know how much it is off the top of my head. I'll perhaps have to weigh it, but it was actually a really nice size considering the power. And when you look at it, to be fair, it is kind of laid out very similar to the iCharger DX series. So which one do they do? Their DX8 is the twin. Do they do a DX6? I can't remember now, but yeah, that very reminiscent from me anyway, from that perspective, but obviously from a different manufacturer, and looks very well made. The plastics look very well molded and everything else. Obviously, when I've seen the other reviews, there's also an SD card there, which I think is what holds the audio files, because this one does talk to you, which is quite nice. So let's power it up, because obviously in my instance I am using, now over to my right here I've got I can slide it over and then slide it back with my CAN bus controller. Obviously I've got LTEX and Huawei, that's the way to spell it, rectifiers here. So obviously I've got this one set to output 49 volts, and I've set that as a permanent voltage using my CAN controller. So that's what I'm going to power this charger with, because if I end up building a charge case around this for myself, because obviously I've got a 308 Duo in my own case that is a few years old now, I think I'm going to let that go for a good price, and I'm going to build myself obviously something around this, so I can, it's more worthwhile me spending the time working out how I'm going to hold it in a charge case and making it all work. So I'm going to obviously be powering it with the 49 volts. When I just measured that with the voltmeter, it was 48.98 or 99. So we're going to go from there. So what we're going to do is, perfect. So positive, and then plug it in at the back. I love having various charge leads and stuff to use. It makes my life so much simpler. Right, so I'm going to hit the switch on the wall. I'm going to check to make sure you're still in focus. Yes, you are. Should probably bring it a bit closer in. Let's go. Ooh.
Welcome to ToolkitRC.
Ooh, I like that. Oh. Okay, so power adapter, yes. Now I have seen, is it worth me using the little touch bit? Possibly. Let me try. Right, okay, so input selection. Okay, so yeah, I've seen this selection box as well. It might be worth me zooming in a bit. Let me see if I can do that. I might have to zoom out, but anyway, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I've seen this before. So looks to be like other chargers in that obviously on the input selection you can have potentially up to 3 profiles here. So I could set this one obviously as the DC input, which is over there, and obviously set obviously a minimum voltage of 48 volts. So if it drops below that because the power supply is conked out or the AC supply is gone, then obviously it terminates the charge. And then I could select another, I could set up another couple of parameters here. One for obviously lead acid, so if you're using it to charge off a car battery, so low voltage at, what is it, 11 volts maybe, 10 and a half at the most, perhaps for a lead acid. And then another one there then as well if I was using it off a 6S LiPo, for example, with obviously then the cut-off voltages to match. So that'd be quite good. But no, I'm going to go for that one. Ooh, okay. Right, so yeah, now we're on to the next one. Okay, now that's interesting. It's registering 49.72 on the input, and it's showing red. Now when I put my voltmeter on that, that isn't showing 49.72. That is showing, and I can probably show you with that. Let me put it next to it. Yeah, okay, there we go. So if I get them the right way round, so negative, positive, yeah, so my voltmeter is actually showing 48.97 volts. So that's actually reading a little bit higher than what the input, it is actually getting. It's probably something I can change, but we'll have a look. We'll cover that in a minute. But yeah, obviously I wanted to double check and make sure, as I certainly don't want to overvolt this thing. So yeah, that looks really nice so far, and obviously there's no point me doing it while the screen, but you can lift the screen up and it looks infinitely variable. Yes, it is. There's no clicky bit. Okay, then it clicks back down when it gets past a certain point. But that actually looks really nice. So let's click. Tell you what, I wonder if, let me take my, no, we won't. Let's click info. Oh yeah, so there we go. So there's the info of the cells, and yeah, and obviously you can tell I've obviously watched a couple of reviews that already come out about a month ago. So yeah, you can scroll left. Oh yeah, you can scroll to the right and obviously see the additional information. Is it better with your finger? Yeah. Click the info. I should have got a battery out. Let me go get a battery. Okay, I'm back now. This is a very old battery, and hopefully I've got the adapters handy to plug this in. I've got a few different ones here. Yes, I have. Right, so, oh, it's an XT60. This is where things get a bit interesting. Because, right, so we'll go from there to there, yeah. Perfect. Right, so I'll plug it in here. You can tell where I test various power supplies, I've got a box of different adapters and stuff, so I just pull across and see which ones I can make up to do whatever I want to do. So let's plug the LiPo in. Sure enough,
Battery connected.
I didn't have to say to you guys I'd plugged the LiPo in, it's actually told me. And the other thing I noticed in the video, which I thought was quite clever, just above the connector you appear to have like a little status light. So now I've plugged the battery in on the port 1, that's obviously turned blue, which obviously is indicating in this case that a battery is connected, so it's quite handy. Sadly, if I bury that under a deck, that will disappear, but if I really want to be clever, I could perhaps try and put some form of clear acrylic there to try and grab as much of that light as possible and lift it up, but that's a lot of faff for not much gain there, especially when the charger is telling you that the LiPo is connected. So, and then obviously the balance port, obviously you've got the typical 9-pin JST-XH kind of port at the front there, so obviously 2 to 8S, and obviously on the left hand side is the negative pin, which is the datum point of any battery you're plugging in. So I need to put this over that side. Okay, so now in theory, if I press info there then, like that, there we go. So yeah, it's showing me the voltages then of each individual cell. Might be worth going in a little bit further. Yeah, there we go. I am bouncing up and down a little bit. Bring it across a bit more. There we go. Yeah, so now obviously with the battery connected, and when I press the info screen, it's obviously then showing me the voltages of each cell, which is quite nice. I'm guessing the next page might not show me anything yet until such time as I'm charging. Yeah, it's just telling me it's in standby mode, so we'll click info off. Let's click that. Ah, okay, that does the same thing. Right, okay, that doesn't do anything. What does this do in the middle? No, nothing. There's the settings in the middle. I think if I click that, oh yeah, there you go. Input power, power type, adapter, oh yeah, adapter, yeah, which I'm guessing would be power supply. Power on selection, yes. Max current 60, yeah, which is give or take the Huawei, I think it's just under that, I think it's 58 amps. Maximum capability there. Minimum voltage, potentially I would want that. Oh, and it does follow your finger, you just got to go nice and slowly. Someone was saying on the YouTube videos it was a little bit fickle. I'd probably put that around 46, I think would be quite good. Probably even a little bit more. Max voltage here, 49, stands about right. Save into 10. Yeah, I'm not going to go too much into that. I'm just going to click save. I notice that pop up on the left. Definitely going to obviously see if I can change that, because obviously if while my voltmeter isn't a fluke, it's definitely not 0.8 of a volt out. So I'm going to see if I can calibrate that input voltage there, so that'll be perfect. So let's now then use the buttons. Standby. Right, okay, here we go. So standby, yep, so it's got a couple of batteries in here already. Let's do that. So LiPo 4.2 volts per cell. Yeah, this is a very old pack. It's an old Turnigy. Cells auto, so I can modify that if I wanted to. So yeah, let's go modify. So cells, LiPo, charge. Do I want to change it? So charge, discharge, storage, destroy. Okay, yeah, which is good. We're going to go charge. End voltage 4.2 volts per cell. Battery cells auto. Could leave it auto. Let's try it at 3 S. It's a 3.3. So let's see if we can go to. Okay, that's where it perhaps gets a little bit, but this is where maybe, here we go. This is the one perhaps where it's a little bit better, where you're just tapping it. 2.5, save messing around, confirm. Oh, okay, yeah, and it's obviously telling me which side I'm using at the moment. So obviously I'm using channel 1, I'm guessing I could probably, yeah, you can. You can put both sides the same. So at the moment, I'm obviously only setting the charge cycle for the channel 1, because I've only got one pack connected. But if I wanted to, by the looks of things, I could start both channels off at the same time, assuming you've got the same type of battery, just by clicking that. So if I click that now, channel 2 is now operational. So if I click start, it would try to charge a 3S pack at 2.5 amps on channel 1 and also channel 2, but I haven't got a pack there, so I'm going to unclick that. So just channel 1, click start. Oh, channel 1 input voltage is too high. Right, now is that relating then to that? So can I? Let's use the wheel. This is where sometimes this might be better. Oh, right, okay, so CH1 calibrate, is that? There you go. Input voltage. Now then, can I do this? Got it the wrong way around. Silly sausage. Red on red, black on black, without blowing anything up. Oh yeah, 48.98. Right, okay, so let's go to, oh yeah, there you go, look, input voltage. Yeah, I can actually calibrate the input voltage. So let's make that, so I've got 48.98 on my voltmeter. So let's go to, wrong way. Need to increase it. Aha, there we go. 48.98. Let's put it at 49. So there we go. That's going to be within a millivolt. There we go. Okay, so now the charger is reading the input at 49 volts. And if I show you my voltmeter, there we go. You can see 48.98. So that's, again, I wouldn't like to say it's the most accurate one, but it's close enough. So let's go to, we got 49 volts, save. Right, so now channel 2 calibrate. I wonder if I might need to do it on that. No, I don't. Okay, so output voltage, output current. No, okay, so I only needed to do that on the first one. That's good. So let's come CH1 calibrate just to double check. Yeah, 49 volts. Save. Click save. It's still showing it in red. So let me try a charge. If this still isn't happy, I will press pause and I will come back after I've adjusted the voltage of that down, kind of thing. Let's try it.
Input voltage is too high.
Okay. Input voltage is too high. Interesting. Yeah, I think that's still complaining about that. Yeah, it's still showing it in red. So what I'm going to do I will pause this movie, or the video should I say, and I'll be back. See you in a minute. Just thought I'd quickly show this. I grabbed my Candice out the drawer, and as you can see it's very simple then to interface them with the Huawei in this instance. So now I've obviously set the voltage to 48 volts, and it is actually 48 volts obviously on the voltmeter. So now we're going to plug the toolkit back in and see if that fixes it. Back in a bit. Right, okay, so we're back. Took me a couple of extra minutes with the Candice, obviously CAN bus controller, which I've got here and is obviously in my other YouTube videos. I've reprogrammed the output now of the Huawei. Took me a couple of tries actually, because there is a stipulation with the Huawei's that under a certain voltage they don't remember the voltage, or they can't remember the voltage, so I had to mess around and find out which one worked. So in the end I settled on 48.4, which is now registering 48.48 on the charger. So now obviously the voltage in this top left hand corner isn't intermittently going in and out of red. Looking at it, obviously the upper limit of 49 volts specified by ToolkitRC is the upper limit. So even though my power supply was outputting just under, as it was maybe fluctuating a few tenths of a volt, it was then obviously putting the charger into its error state or alarm state to say, oi, hang on a minute, I'm getting more than 49 volts. So now underneath it by half a volt we appear to be okay. So hopefully now I should just be able to scroll across to standby, and in the background as well, before I came back I've actually put the screensaver or the screen protector on the screen. Got a bit of dust under this corner, what a pain in the backside, but anyway, I'm not going to cry over that. So I feel a bit better touching the screen, so I'm going to click standby. I'm going to do it now with this. Yeah, LiPo 4.2 volt 3S, charge 2.5 amps, channel 1 only, start. Charge current set to 12.6, yep, because that's 3 times 4.2. Okay,
Charging starts.
woohoo, there we go. And the blue LED to signal that a battery is connected has now changed to red, which obviously I'm guessing indicates that it's charging. So now we've got, yeah, so we've got 48.44 volts going in, and I can show you that if I hold my terminal so it doesn't go down. There we go. Yep, so that's what's coming on the voltmeter out of the power supply. And we're now charging, so potentially to stop me touching the screen, let's click info. 3.829. This is obviously a very old pack, so it's going to be right. So can you right, there we go. So when you're in the info page you can tab through it with the exit function, exit strike F, so I'm guessing F might be function. So also we've got individual cell voltages, individual cell, God, that name always eludes me. Resistance, the resistance values of each cell. Trying to think too much there about what I'm going to say. And then obviously then we're charging, so it's telling us we're charging, then obviously on the setting with LiPo 3S charge, and then the parameters 4.2 volts 2.5 amps. Yeah, so that's quite good. So I think if I click that, yeah, then I click that again, it comes out of that. So if I go to the button now where it says charging and click it, what's it going to give me? Right, okay, so now I can go in and adjust it. So I think if I can click it and I can change the charging current while it's actually charging. Okay, click it to select. I can go to channel 1 stop. I can go to modify, or I can go back. So let's modify. Yeah, there we go. So now it's charging, yeah. So you can go in and actually physically change the charging current while it's charging. So it's now charging at 3 amps rather than 2.5. So that's quite good. So let's click it. Channel 1 stop. Ooh. Okay, now it has stopped. I was expecting it maybe to turn around and say charge stopped. But perhaps it won't. Perhaps it will just tell you when it has finished charging, but doesn't tell you that user has stopped charging it. So, oh yeah, because we're currently in standby. 4.2. let's charge it again. Click start. Channel 1 charged to 12.6, yep.
Charging starts.
Yeah, okay. So it's telling us the charging is starting, but it's not telling us when we manually then go in and stop the charge. But I'm assuming then it will talk to me when it has actually finished the charge cycle. I'll probably grab another battery for that. So let's stop it again manually. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay. Let's go in then and try something else. So go back to standby. Now then, can we charge? Ah, right, okay. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to let's do this one. I'm going to modify this one. So I'm going to go LiPo, yeah, charge. I'm not going to charge, so we're going to still up. We'll discharge. 3.2 volts per cell. I don't want to go that low because I don't want to destroy this pack. But let's go to 3.5, although I'm not going to let it go that far. Battery cell count auto, discharge current 2. It would be interesting if it went all the way up to 6 amps. Let's try it. Discharge mode inter. That's the only one available. Right, confirm. Right, so we're going to LiPo down to 3 volts per cell, cell count auto, so it will detect as 3S. Discharge inter. Don't know what inter means, but anyway. Internal, could be. Yeah, discharge inter. Discharge internal. Discharge current 6 amps. Let's see if it goes. So let's click start. Discharge at 10.5 volts, yeah, overall.
Discharge start.
Oh. Okay, now, people who know me know I'm a bit of a tart and I do like the frilly thing. So when the charger speaks to me, or anything speaks to me, for example, even my transmitter, I do wet my pants because I do like it. It's, who doesn't? It's like when you go into your car and it does things nice and stuff. So, okay, so, yep, obviously we're discharging and it's obviously ramped up the 2 cooling fans at the back. And it's quite warm in this office at the moment. It's showing 26.5 because I've got the door closed in case the dog runs out and obviously starts barking. I don't want her barking on my video. So, oh, now that's interesting as well, yeah. As with the Duos, the little cooling fan, or the little fan in symbol in the top right hand corner. Let me try and zoom in a little bit more. There we go. The little fan symbol in the top right hand corner is obviously now rotating, which obviously signifies that the fans are on the back and they're working, so that's good. I'm guessing that's the internal temperature of the charger, which is obviously then building up a little bit. It's at 56.3. Obviously we're not really pulling anything from the power supply. Still got 48.47 volts going in, according to this. 0.1 of an amp is being drawn from it. 1.6 watt hours. Now then, is that what's coming out the pack? Could well be. Don't know what this C... Ah, okay, now that's good. I clicked that C in the top, near the top left hand corner. Now it's showing me obviously these 2 cells, so cell 1 and 2 is obviously slightly higher voltage than cell 3. So when they're turning red or orange, I think they're more orange than red, they're obviously being discharged more than cell 3, or they're being discharged in general, and cell 3 currently isn't being discharged, I'm guessing, until cells 1 and 2 the voltage matches it. So that'd be interesting. We could leave it on that for a minute. What does P? Oh yeah, so C and P must be the power. Yeah, C. Oh yeah, C must be cell. P must be power. Yeah, because that's now gone back to that page. It's taking 40 watts out by looks. So let's go C. That'd be interesting. So we're at 7.22 and that cell 3 is 7.19, 0.72, 0.721, so they're getting very close now. And cell 3 is 3.717. It is an old pack, this one, so you know it's not necessarily a fair test of this poor little charger because these cells are old. I got this back when my dad was flying model aircraft with me, so I think that's possibly 10 or 12 years or more now. Actually, it might be a bit longer. I haven't flown bigger machines for about 5 or 6 years. So, yeah, so that's interesting. Yeah, I think that's obviously cells 1 and 2 are lighting up a lot more still than cell 3, which is obviously tracking a little bit lower. So my thoughts are there, due to the resistance differences and the way the cells want to deliver their power, 1 and 2 are needing a little bit more work, would be a good word to use. So the light is staying on a little bit longer. But overall, so far that's good. Obviously I can't really feel any major... Oh, this side's a little bit warmer, the airflow coming out of this one, which I'd imagine would be understandable because obviously I'm discharging through channel 1, so that side. So as this side is cooler, where it's just sucking in the air, ambient air, which would obviously help if it wasn't 26.7 degrees in here. Yeah. So far I'm quite pleased with that. Yeah. Be nice to actually see it in a case next, wouldn't it? My hope is I'll keep using this and seeing if it performs well and everything else, and then go from there. Actually, first of all, I need to get rid of my iCharger case build now, because that might as well go to a new home. Where someone's gonna use it, enjoy it. And then I'll use this. Now, question for me would be: do I make as small as possible and very powerful case, or do I make a medium-sized case that obviously gives me some storage as well? I might have a play. Be something in the background. I've got some cases on the go at the moment which I must get finished. This is just a little bit of a nice interlude to take my mind off of that for a bit and have a bit of fun at the same time. So yeah, if you don't know about this charger, go Google it. Toolkit M8D. I think it's only just appeared in the last month and a bit. So far so good. Thanks for watching, and if you like these kind of videos, if some of you like my voice, and if you don't, please tell me in the comments, and I'll see if I can do a few more. Thanks for your time. Cheers. Bye.